Cosmo, Aunt Wanda, I show proof. Welcome to my raw view, guys. We're back for another little quick thing. One person asked me to do this, so I say, one person, I got you. Even though I'm kind of tired and don't want to do it, but I'm doing it. We're back for the Welcome to Derry quick little review. Should be quick enough, I hope. Episode 3. It was an interesting episode, more of the slower episode, but still, even though it's slow, it's kind of interesting because it's tying a lot of or it's trying to tie us into the plot of things that are happening, so it makes more sense. It's slowly getting there, so let's go ahead and get into it. And once again, like the video, y'all. Sub if you can. On Patreon, you can find other videos, full length videos. Haven't watched Pennywise or Welcome to Derry yet on Patreon yet, but just other videos that you may be into. So yeah, this episode of Derry started off like no other. It was 1962, May 97 precisely. I was trying to make sense just now, but it didn't come out right. But I still sound professional, and that's all that matters. So basically, this episode starts off, I believe, 1908. Don't quote me, I'm not a mathematician. The kids, it goes back to that old looking sepia photo that some of y'all may remember of Pennywise trying to look human. They're at a carnival. Carnival's always creepy. And basically this young kid is trying to go to the carnival. Somehow he's separated from his dad. What were they called? The ringleader guys, step right up. For $2 and a Shoney coupon, you can go into this tent and find wonders.
Into a grotesquerie of horrors beyond your darkest imaginings.
But then he goes into the tent, and let me just tell you, what was in that tent wasn't wonderful. Some old creepy man. Old men could be kind of hot, but not that one. So basically, the old creepy guy scares him out the tent. He runs into his father. Like all fathers. Hey son, stop being a sissy. Bada bing, bada boom. What can I say? Somehow, we'll say another day, he ends up going outside. He runs into these nice Native American kids. And, you know what they all do. Bada bing, bada boom. Do you need any more?
That a slingshot?
Somehow this kid ends up in the woods by himself, and he sees the old creepy man. Because Pennywise like to play tricks on you and use what scares you to get you. So because he was scared of the old man in the tent, he used that against him.
Hello!
It was creepy. It was giving the scene on, was it Chapter 2, I think? Where Beverly goes to her old childhood house, which she thinks is looking all nice and everything. But then the old lady there is really Pennywise, and then it shows her tall and lanky, walking all fast down through the hallway. He kind of gave that, and he was chasing him, and he even got in a spider shape. I guess Pennywise, like I said, his true form is some big spider thing, whatever. As all white people, they fall when they're running. What's new? Falls, about to get eaten, and then out of nowhere, gets slingshot to the eye with a rock.
Run, come on!
Easter egg there. And it's the Native American girl. Kind of find out later on, the Native American girl is the girl that we saw in episode, was it 1 or 2? The one that owns, could be 1, the one that owns the antique shop. That's her grown up. She saves him for now, right? Okay, because she was he can't get out of the woods. So I guess at that time, Pennywise couldn't leave the woods. I'm not sure why. Maybe they will explain it later, I guess. And then pretty much it goes into Lily. She's at the insane asylum, and I guess her mom comes to take her out.
If she has another episode, we may want to discuss a more restrictive treatment plan.
And then we go into Ronnie's dad being interrogated by the sheriff, and they're just still trying to frame him as being the person that killed the kids in the theater, and telling him oh, we'll miss you. At least we have the memories. And guys I didn't do it.
We're gonna miss you around here, Hank.
I didn't do this!
And poor, I think I say her name, Veronica. Poor Ronnie. Little Jill Scott. Everybody at school picking on her. They done wrote on her wall, pretty much saying that her dad is a killer. Children. I swear, you just can't shoot them, right? Bada bing, bada boom. She goes to the bathroom after trying to wipe off the stuff from the locker, and then Lily meets her in the bathroom, right? And she's like, hey girl, how you hanging, girl? And Ronnie's like, Oh, no, you didn't. I'm a black girl with an afro, and I have an attitude. I ought to whoop your ass for not telling them that my father is innocent. And she snaps her neck 3 times, like all black women do when they're angry.
Lucky I don't whoop your ass for what you did to my dad.
No, but for real. They have a little altercation in the bathroom, but then, like, you know, Billy's like, I'm going to make it up to you. I'm serious. I'll tell them that it's a monster. Da, 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 da.
Go. I'll tell them, okay? What I really saw.
And that happens, right? So their plan is, though, to take a camera and capture this entity that's bothering them. Like, they want to capture it on camera so they can prove that, 1, Lily's not crazy, and 2, that the dad is not a psycho killer. You can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. You get what I'm saying? And then we're back to the adults, you know, the boring ones. They are trying to crack down on finding of the car back in the military days. They had all the bodies in there. You know, because I didn't notice at first, but the intro that I love, it's showing things that, you know, are in the book or things that have happened in Derry in the past. So like you have the Easter egg thing going on with the bunny. You have the mass shooting that I guess, I don't know, happened in the 1920s or whatever, where, you know, he's holding the Uzi and all that kind of stuff. They found that car from that era, right? And I guess at that time, those people that were, I don't know if they were in the army or whatever, but they saw Pennywise. You know, they'll know that's Pennywise, but they saw this entity, and I don't think they were supposed to see him, or he wasn't supposed to see them. That's why these people are trying to dig up this entity, because for some reason they think it's going to help them stop the Cold War. Look, I'm not a mathematician. I'm just drawn that way. We're still dealing with the adults, whatever. This other guy, he's black. I'll just give him a name. What's a black name? Daquan Jerome Williams. He's suffering PMS, you know, that women do, or the PTSD. He's been seeing some shite back in the day. He saw Pennywise. He saw this entity, and so he's on this helicopter or plane with the other guy, Leroy, and some other guy, and I guess they're trying to take him somewhere, but then this guy's like zoning out and acting crazy, and they're like, "What? Is he on some drugs? Like, is he okay?"
Appears to be something wrong with Nalarin. Unresponsive. Requesting permission to head back.
But he's really going back to a flashback or this dream state world of him actually being in the sewers that we saw in the movies with all the kids stacked up and all the things and floating around. You know, they saw the deadlights. Like, it's the same Pennywise thing there, the circus thing, and the glowing eyes in there, and that was creepy. It was like, okay.
Who are you?
Will Hanlon and Rich. You know, Will Hanlon is Leroy Hanlon's son, and then Rich is this little cute little Latin boy. Like, he's so adorable. Like, I hope he doesn't die, or at least not yet. Yeah, like, Rich has a big crush on my girl Marge, the one that I like with the glasses. Somebody said that they think when they showed this flashback scene that it was hinting at her eventually being taken over by the deadlights. I think because they saw this reflection of light on her glasses, but I think that was just lighting from the camera and stuff. Probably thinking into it too deep. But he loves Marge, and so do I. And secretly, Will likes Ronnie, but he's acting like he doesn't. So it's just kids being kids, talking about love, So remember from the earlier scenes where the little boy from the circus, right? That is General Shaw is the guy from the military. General Shaw is the little boy from the circus scene. The one that met up with the girl, the Native American woman, Rose. So, when you, for whatever reason, when you leave from Derry and go to somewhere else, you kind of forget about the town. I guess that's just how Derry works. You forget about what happens. Just like, in the movies, like, they got older, they forgot about what happened until they got the phone call from their friends and stuff that they kind of remembered.
What do you have for a nickel?
Francis Shaw.
Has it really been 50 years?
There's this whole thing going on in town where, I guess, as always, white people trying to take land. They're trying to build waterways through this forest. I think that same forest where Pennywise can't leave, allegedly. This is how we end up getting the sewers later on in the later movies and stuff. But General Shaw comes into an antique shop. He realizes they know each other. And, he's just telling her, like, hey, we're coming here to dig up the waterways. But she doesn't want it to happen because it's ancient, things going there that they don't want to disturb. So they're going to come to a conclusion eventually. I guess we'll see that later on.
Not until this week.
You were in charge of the digs.
And then in between these scenes right here, these are kind of like the last kind of scenes pretty much. It's this dinner going on with Leroy, the wife, and I think Airman Jacobs is what they call him, Airman Jacobs. They're having this dinner and, we're finding out that the wife really was a true activist and, the husband doesn't really like it because, he's trying to keep his grace upon the white people in the military and they don't want nobody causing trouble in the town being an activist.
The movement.
Mm-hmm.
He seems kind of uncomfortable with that because the guy's trying to the other guy, Airman Jacob, is trying to, just be, I guess, appear to be friendly with her. And then he asks Leroy about his son and you could see in the facial expressions of Leroy, he's kind of looking like, why is the man asking about my son?
So where's your son at tonight?
And then kind of find out he never told him about his son. And then he's like, oh, maybe I heard it around the base. And I guess Leroy thinks that Airman Jacob was one of the guys that was trying to rob or kill him that night under this mask. Like he had a strange feeling he felt then, and he feels it now among, sitting with that guy.
You were there.
And then pretty much that ends with him being like, the guy being like, I'm not trying to play games with you. You saved my life. And I hope that you can do the same if we go to the something together, the trail together, the something.
So I sure wouldn't mind having you with me in them trenches.
Where they gonna be fighting it, I don't know. Anyway, now on to the kids. This is what ends this episode pretty much. So Rich, Will, Lily, Veronica, Ronnie, aka Ronnie, they are doing their goosebump thing because they're trying to. Rich told them that the way to contact the ghost to lure them out is to do this some kind of Spanish thing that they do where they go and sit at a graveyard and chant something, and then it's supposed to make an entity show up. But he's kind of just winging it, and the kids really are, trying to go along with it. They have the candles doing a seance, and then he has to pee, and they're like, well, I thought you said you can't break the circle. And he's like, oh, I mean, my uncle said, well, maybe I heard he said that. And then they kind of get mad and we thought you were going to help us, Ronnie and Lily. They get up to leave from the cemetery, and it shows a statue of Jesus or whatever. Of course, I knew it was coming. Turn its head all evil looking. Now, this episode, okay, I can see where people complain about the CGI. I'm not against CGI. If it's done right. I will say though, this episode, the CGI was in green screen, was very tacky, honestly. I hate to say, it was really unbelievable.
Are you seeing this?
It was bad. It was bad. The old man was kind of okay in the beginning, but this part right here with them on a bicycle, it was clearly this is green screen. It was so obvious. I don't know who edited. Did I edit that? As they're on their bicycles, leaving the thing, the ground starts to break apart and it's trembling and they all see what's going on, because at first Will don't believe the girls see anything at all. And then all of a sudden the ghosts of the past kids that passed away in the theater are or Pennywise, aka Pennywise, is flying around them trying to get them, and then while they're doing that, Lily taking a picture of it so she have evidence, and then so is Ronnie taking a picture, and they keep dropping the camera. They keep dropping this camera on this whole bike scene out of the cemetery. Basically, they end up making it out, but Will is the last one to get out because he saw the camera last, and then as he's grabbing the camera, it's this what's it called? A mausoleum? A museum? Y'all know. Look, I'm a reporter, not a mathematician. The mausoleum, the thing that the bougie people get buried in. We see Pennywise pretty much walking off fast like he always does. Like that damn alien in Scary Movie.
Let's see that again.
This was clearly written by a white person because they made Will, a black character, go and investigate. We all know black people ain't doing that. But for some reason, he's like, I think I felt something behind me. I know what to do. Let me go look. So he goes in there with the camera, and we see what looks like Pennywise's outfit, the gray sleeve, reaching out, and he hurries and takes a picture. it flashes and then it shows Ronnie and them at the gate being like, oh my God, where's Will? They're walking up there, hoping he's okay, praying. And then he comes running down like, I should have believed y'all. And then because they can't trust anybody to actually develop the film for them because they don't want to look crazy or because they're kids, they find a way to do it themselves. And they go into this room, with the red light and all that, and they're like doing the photos. And they actually managed to take pictures of like the ghost kids.
Susie.
And we was able to take a picture of Pennywise.
What is that?
It was a really creepy picture. Like, it was a very creepy picture. Like, that was scary. And then it goes off. Because they're like, I think it's a clown. And then it goes off. That was it.
It's a clown.
So yeah, that was the episode. Like, it was more of a let's fill you in type of episode versus all the tricks and stuff that the first maybe 2 episodes were doing. But I still found it interesting. Like, I wasn't bored. Like, I think people are probably gonna want to see what happens in 1 and 2 all the time, all the extraness and all the craziness and gore. But I don't think that needs to be in every episode. We need some understanding, some knowledge, and that's what this episode I think was the point of it was to tie things slowly together. So yeah, that was my synopsis of episode 3 of It. Welcome to Derry, and let me know what y'all think down below. Did y'all like this episode? Did y'all learn anything new? And once again, back to the turtle stuff, just really quick, the turtle stuff. Even in that beginning of that circus thing, they were, how people like throw like the ball or glass to hit like the bowling pins, whatever. They were throwing targets at like turtles.
The skeleton man.
Like they keep doing all this turtle stuff within the show. But anyway, yeah, thank y'all for watching. And I will try to continue this. I'll see how this one does. But yeah, until next time, stay beat, stay beautiful, but most importantly, stay blessed. Kima Show or Kamochi. Ta-ta. That's all, folks. And